What were you doing before you started Visme? You were running a web design agency?
Yeah, it was a web design. Pretty much most of what we did was creating these really interactive Flash-based websites. For those, I guess that if unless you're, I guess, in your 30s at this point, you wouldn't know what the Flash was. Adobe Flash was my favorite tool to use, and my team we used to create these really highly interactive animated websites and with intros and music and so on. And then, of course, Apple came out back in 2008 or 9, and then they stopped supporting Flash, which was a plugin. So Visme, partially as a result of that, is why it started. But it was actually initially to solve a challenge at my agency, which is where, hey, nobody wants Flash websites anymore. And also, what we create in Flash, you can't view it on an iPhone, and that was, becoming the that device, and of course still is today. And so, what do we do? And it was a little experimental project. Let's create what it did, creating ability to create kind of for designers with a timeline and animation abilities and so on. And then, but it will be based on HTML5, which even today is still the fabric of internet, essentially. All the apps, SaaS, everything is layered over HTML5. So it's not going anywhere because it's fabric of the internet. And so that's initially what Visme was. But it turned out to be more than that because very early on, we pivoted and say, this really shouldn't be for designers. This should be solving another problem or challenge that I had. And one of the issues I had in my agency was, I'll go twofold, customers and also me, myself. When I would, let's say, create a website, I would have to, I wasn't a coder, so I was a designer. I would go to multiple tools, create bitmaps and filters and so on in Photoshop. Vectors, icons, go to Illustrator. And then go to Dreamweaver. People remember that was basically to put the web pages together. Yeah. Flash for the animations and so on. And then, put that into the page and publish it and so on. Every single one of those tools, great tools, love them, but the work around the interface was different completely than the other one. So I always was frustrated that I have to, when I'm into the zone, I'm creating something, I got to go out of the zone, go to this other tool to accomplish something else. And it's a different environment, different interface. So it just never felt right. And so I was like, there must be a way others might be having this problem too, that are just looking to create different types of content, a presentation and graphic, chart, and so on. Why can't there just be one user interface to do all of that? And yet be able to go beyond just the simple stuff, but then not go all the way to where it becomes extremely complex, where then you really have to be a professional to learn it. So that's kind of how it all came about.